for God.
Woo! That feels good. I love to get the blood moving, and it's good stuff. Here we are on the last Sunday of October. It's the last Sunday to really honor that orange, that zeal, that enthusiasm. Sometimes you might say, I have a little bit of enthusiasm. But today, I'm going to have lots of enthusiasm. We'll see. It's called spiritual harvest. It's this time of year where it's kind of like quickly moving from summer to autumn. Although not just yet, we're going to have a few warm days. Today's going to be gorgeous for our picnic. And then the leaves change and everything drops. And the holidays are not just arriving. It's a big boulder that's already in motion. Do you feel the holidays coming to you? It doesn't matter where you go, you see evidence that there's stuff happening. I don't know why we wait to the end of the year and then just jam all in. But that's why I'm talking about today, spiritual harvest. And what does that mean for us? I turn to the Bible, to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. So everything is always in the balance of there's a season for it. Now, some people say it was a really hot summer. Some people say 109 degrees is just a nice day. That's me. That's all y'all that think it was a hot summer. You don't know what hot is. But as we move into this autumn, it's a little crisp, and a lot of us are going, oh, thank God for the break. Why, I bundle up and go, I'm so cold, because it's 74. I'm doomed. But what's true is I've got a down jacket. I've got a cashmere scarf. I've got the boots. I've got whatever I need because everything under heaven is provided. And where is heaven? When we look at our brother Jesus, where did he say the kingdom of heaven lives? Right inside us. The kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven is right here. So to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. In our heart, in our journey. Now, this is a speaker you might have heard before. And a while back, this is something he said. This is a time of getting ready for and celebrating the holidays. From spooky to sparkly, from eating too much to giving too much. A race to the finish, and the ball drops in Times Square. Well, thank you. I'm very sad that Leslie Woods isn't here because she said to me about a month ago, why don't you quote yourself sometime? So I did it, and she's not here to see it. She's probably watching the live stream. Hi, Leslie. So here it is. The holidays. The holidays come forth no matter what. Now, you might have some traditions that take your breath away. In the, not again. Well, if you've got a tradition that doesn't have any zip pizzazz to it, doesn't mean that much to you, set it down. And if you've got traditions, oh, they work every time. Touches your heart, opens your heart, and makes you feel like you're ready to give a sacred something to others because it lives in you. The kingdom of heaven and God is within you. Now, a great thing was said to me once on a retreat. And it's that each of us is given an acre. It's ours. This is our kingdom of heaven and God, our acre. But most of my life, I've spent my time in your acre. Oh, that needs trimming. Oh, you need to fertilize here. I've meddled in everyone else's acre, and meanwhile, my acre's gone to weeds. Now, it's been conscious practice for me to take care of me first, just like in the airline. Put the oxygen mask on yourself and then help others. Why is that? Because if we don't take care of ourselves first, then we have nothing to give everybody else. And we want to give from our overflow. We don't want to give blood all the time. Now, giving blood is really important. But if you give every ounce of blood you have away, what's your condition? Not so good. So you might learn to take care of your own acre. I love Martha Smock. She was the editor of the Daily Word for decades, and her wisdom so profoundly touches me. So she says here, how often when we pray, we expect God's perfect answer, but we do not allow this spiritual idea to grow and unfold in us. We want it now. But as I can share with you, 6 weeks ago when I hurt my back, I definitely wanted it now. I wanted the answer now. I wanted the fix now. I was in 8-9 pain. 9 pain is when you can't breathe. That's what I describe. I don't know what 10 is. But 9 is when you can't breathe. And I just laid in bed. Did nothing but lay in bed. It was the only position I could tolerate the pain. But my doctor said, you need to walk through the pain. If you stay in bed, you're going to be in bed the rest of your life. We need to allow Spirit to work with us. We're an active part of the outworking of God. And it takes us time to do what we need to do, yes? And certainly with this injury, I've had to learn how to manipulate, how to walk with a walker, how to ask for help without sounding like I'm a whiny, snivelly jerk. It takes practice. I mean, I have 3 people in the house, and one person's right back there running the camera, and Owen at first was a Florence nightmare. It was all handled with fear. Are you going to be this way the rest of your life? Oh my gosh, it's like tug of war and I'm in pain in bed. But he turned into Florence Nightingale, serving with love, assisting, thinking ahead what I might need. Really good service. And it takes what it takes. But I've been off the walker for 6 days. Hallelujah. Thank you. And so the perfect answer may be just what this moment is. And then the next moment. And then the next moment. And the next moment. and they build upon each other until we have the harvest. And that's our spiritual harvest. Thank you, Martha. I turn to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 15 to 17. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? We've got to approach our life as nature. If you plant a tomato plant, if you're lucky, what are you going to get? Tomatoes, not a Brussels sprout. If you plant an acorn, it's going to grow an oak tree. Might be a live oak. It's going to be an oak tree. And everything in the mustard seed is everything that it takes to be a mustard plant. When you look at a mustard seed, it's hardly anything at all. Well, guess what? The seed of God is in us. And everything is in that seed for us to be what we're meant to be. One with God, creating the world we see. What is, is. If what came first, the chicken or the egg? The egg, of course. Because whoever laid the egg that became a chicken, the chicken was obviously a mutant form of whatever. But everything's in that egg to be the chicken or the rooster. It's all there. We're a blueprint of divinity. And that blueprint is shining through naturally. It's our nature. And so the fruit of our experience is born of whatever thoughts we're holding. And again, that's our spiritual harvest. That's what we're gathering in our experience in our life. And if we don't like what's happening in our life, then change our thoughts. Change our being and center in with the one who knows the answer. I turned to the minister James Dillett Freeman. He was poet laureate for Unity. His prayers, or his poetry, twice went to the moon. And can you believe it? How many people could write a prayer, a poem? How much do you pack when you're going to the moon? Very little. And his prayers went twice. Two different ones went to the moon. He says here, nothing is ever finished, darn. Everything is to grow. Nothing is ever completed, though everything is complete. The tree is in the seed. The universe is in the seed. All there, all complete. But it has to become the universe it was created to be. So this is James Dillett Freeman's way of saying what was said in Matthew. Because nothing's ever finished. We're a work in progress. We're this wonderful spiritual being having this human experience. And no two days are going to be alike. Each one of us expresses in a completely different way. No two snowflakes are alike. No two human beings are alike. We're all creating and being, but it's all within us. And that universe is pouring for us. And we can have a really good idea of what's growing in our acre by what we can harvest. And if we haven't tended it, it isn't going to grow very well. And those things that we tend and take care of, we reap deep harvest from. Thank you, James. And again, I turn to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14 to 15. You are the light of the world. You are. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Even from outer space, you can see the city. The light shines. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. So just like our daily word today, illumination, it's ours to let there be light. You are the light of the world, your own particular light. And our spiritual harvest is our opportunity to come home to the divine spirit within us and be the greatest wisdom, the greatest wholeness, the greatest expression. It makes us a good parent. It makes us a good friend. It makes us a good congregant. It makes us a good New Braunfels person. Wherever we're from, we get to bring that to what we do. And we have wonderful opportunities right here in this community to extend that into service to others. Be it in hospitality or family promise or our new service to the cold weather shelter. We are here. And as we spread that light, it shines forth. And believe me, we are changing the world. Right now, our energy, our light, our knowing is changing the world. That's why you're a light of the world. This has been parading around on Facebook, and so I stuck it up here. The grass is always greener where you water it. Now, isn't that practical? It reminds us that if we water in our own acre, that we can actually grow something in ourselves. We can be all that we can be, or we can be something new. This is the first time I'm just about to have my first year anniversary here at this community. And it's the first time I've been a senior minister. And I get to try it on each Sunday, every day I'm here. Trust me, ministers work more than just Sunday. But it's mine to be, and if I'm doing it, I'm experiencing it. Rather than looking out there, oh, maybe it's out there someplace. No, it's in here. So last week we heard it's not easy being green. It isn't always easy being green. But when we are green, we're able to step into our wholeness and draw up from our knowing the right step to take, the right thing to say, the right thing to write, the right thing to express in the world. It's calling us to action. Albert Schweitzer, author, lecturer, historian, says, "It is not always granted to the sower to see the harvest." We have no idea the effect we've had on the people we encounter. When I was on the walker, I can still remember it. It was amazing, the care, the generosity, the help that I received just going to HEB. People are willing to help and I was willing to receive. And if you're anything like how I used to be, I was a great giver and never would receive. Oh, no, no, no. No more. I give and I receive. And I receive so much when I give easily, freely from that source of being. And that's our spiritual harvest. And if we work from that place, we have an endless flow of offering in our spiritual harvest. That's why when we're feeling centered, it's easy to be generous, to be friendly, to have a smile, to offer help, to let someone else turn in first. It's all part of us, and we don't know the effect we're going to have on others. And we may be holding the vision, we can see it clearly, and it never outpictures for us. But trust me, that holding that vision, holding that it's so real, it does exist. It's already here. Every time we have a thought that we put our attention on, that we plant in our acre, it already exists. It may not manifest fully in time. We may lose interest in it. At one time, there were things that were very important to me. When I was a director in theater in New York City, I had this vision of a theater production company. The Crown Theater Guild. I had a name for it, and I knew exactly what it was going to be. It never happened. In the physical. But it's part of me because it's so real in me. And I close this talk with these wise words from this German theologian from the 12th century, Meister Eckhart, who says, what we plant in the soil of contemplation, we shall reap in the harvest of action. I chose this quote because it calls to a very important part of our harvest. It also has to do with what we're thinking, what we're valuing, what's important to us. And then we have to take action. We have to roll up our sleeves and take part in making it happen. Because I don't know if you've figured it out yet, but if you just sit down and pray and say, God, this, it doesn't happen, does it? Because the requirement, we are co-creators with God, is for us to put our energy, our vitality, our interest, our love into making it happen. And that's our harvest. That's how we want to handle our acre that we have. An acre is a good amount of space to plant whatever we want to plant. But if you plant every seed that exists on planet Earth, you're probably going to have a jungle that's a little hard to find anything. And a real irrigation problem. So as we enter this time of the holidays, as we enter into this season of autumn, as we begin to let go of our leaves, we open ourselves to a bigger space to allow God to be. So let's slough off what doesn't work for us. Let's open ourselves to what it is that's most important to us and set aside everything else. And let's progress to the end of this year ready for a new year. And yes, there'll be a lot of things to do between now and then, but you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Let this be a wonderful harvest, and you don't have to harvest it all today. So let's take this into meditation as we allow the unity singers to bring us to that space of wholeness.
Go within to the one inside. Go within, let it be your guide. Go within, touch the truth. Go within, know it's you. Go within to the place that's still. Go within, let that be your will. Go within to the one inside. Go within, let it be your guide.
Right now, we stop. We center in. We breathe easily. And we allow ourselves to come home to the kingdom of heaven within. Come home to the kingdom of God within. All we need to do is relax our mental activity and come home. And now as we open ourselves to divine grace, we let go and go within. Therein we lie with peace. with strength, with wholeness, with holiness. And as we rest in this moment, what are you harvesting? What fruit comes forward for you to eat right now? One with God and all that you are. Let's rest in this moment and allow grace to inform us, to deliver us, to be, as we now enter the silence. From this moment of sublime serenity, we listen, we allow, we are. So let's bring from this peacefulness whatever we have to harvest and come aware to this now moment back in the room. Take your time, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You might roll your head gently or roll your shoulders back. And when you're ready, open your eyes and we'll say today's affirmation that goes with today's message. Together, I sow seeds of truth and I reap a rich spiritual harvest. And so it is.
Step out on the water, release your faith. Every step is stronger. Step out on the water.